So this was the last day. We shot for 16 hours. We knew we had to have this massive fight with Gary, and they'd spent some time planning it out. And they showed me, but I was off filming other stuff. Like Danielle, if all the Americans were literally leaving the next morning. So we started filming this scene probably about 10 at night, and we didn't finish until like 2 in the morning. But they were doing the fight scene, and then when it eventually came to shoot, and after the fight scene, I knew I had to still wrap Danielle up. She had to come and do all her end lines for the end of the movie. But I soon realised, holy shit, you can't really put the camera anywhere when you're filming a fight in a corridor, never mind light it. So these corridors, you can see behind Ben, they've got those lights. These actors, it doesn't matter where they go in this corridor, they are standing under one of those lights. And then we had one of the crew, Joe, he had like a 300-watt ARRI light, and we would get that in underneath wherever we could. We had it on like a lighting stand, like a long boom arm, and he would stick the light in. It was ridiculous. So there's a light above Gary. When it cuts to Ben, there's a light above Ben. And when they go to fight, there will always be a light above them. So he stepped away from the light, he's in the dark. There's nowhere to put lighting stands. It's so tight. So this was a mad rush. Everyone could see the end in sight, but I just knew, I could feel we were rushing this. We were. And one of the disappointments of the first film was we always wanted to have this big fight, but the actor who was playing one of the characters just wouldn't do it. And I knew Gary, he was well up for doing like a big kind of showdown. And remember, Gary's like 60 years old, and they're like chucking him, like random boxes. He was laughing because he was saying his stunt friends will watch this and they'll be like, oh, where did the boxes come from, Gary, and the mat you land on? And Lorraine bought some of these props, like a box, and now he's got like a brick. Surprised he doesn't pick up their kitchen sink in a moment. And we didn't even have time to shoot these scenes with this scene we shot, but we didn't have time to shoot these scenes with Ben. We came back 6 months and did all these inserts. And then this was one of the only effects that we couldn't do, so we had to pay money to get Martin Fernandez in Barcelona, who kindly did all these effect shots on the cheap. I remember Danielle, she pulled me aside one day and she's like, I've already done this ending in Hatchet 2. And I was like, it was embarrassing because I had to tell her I hadn't seen any of the Hatchet movies. And I've since watched a few of them and they're pretty cool. And you can tell the way she says this next line, she knows she's said this like a million times before. Try coming back from that, motherfucker. Even for this, it's like one shot. We've marked the focus so we can rack back and forward, but it's like a quick way of saving time from doing different setups. And it works. It actually works here. But normally you would film her close-up, his close-up, a wide shot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is funny because these two guys thought they were going to be acting opposite Danielle and Gary, and as soon we filmed Gary and Danielle's shots first, these ones, and they were just talking to Katie, who was doing the script, and then that was them. They were off, back to their hotel, getting their flight home the next morning. Now Alec and Gav, they were in a room waiting, and this was like late at night. It's like 2 a.m. now. So we call them up, and they're like, "Where's Danielle and that?" And I'm like, "She's left. She's away home." So I think Gavin was more disappointed because he's a big fan. That's Gavin there. He's a big fan of Danielle. But Alec knew the score. You know what I mean? And Alec was in the first movie. He died. And I tried to get him in some of my other movies, but could never do it. So I was like, he can come back for this one. Of course he can. No one's seen the first film. And we filmed, obviously, Stephanie talking to no one a lot earlier in the shoot. It was her idea to lick the mask. And then when she went to do it, she wouldn't put her tongue on it. And I was like, Stephanie, if you're going to lick the mask, you got to lick the mask. So this was the one take she did it.